Well, it's a little dirty, but it is the second day that I've been out on the water. A little dirty. That's okay. And haven't even had to recharge the battery. I think probably because of specifically what trolling motor this is. What I've put there. Now it's a 100 amp hour battery. But we're going to talk about this a little bit. All right. So we're going to start from where does it get the juice. So the Lifetime Teton Pro, it has this, one of my complaints, there's like very few flat areas. And where there is a flat area, rather than use the entire thing and do a big triangle like some of the other companies, which that would be super awesome. And if somebody knows, by the way, if you know where I can get a dang triangle hatch, I will cut open the whole front of my kayak and I will get a big ass triangle hatch. Because that'd be super convenient. But I don't yet have one. So it's got this oblong hatch. It works great. It works great for what it is. It's held on by... This is a trolling motor video. Don't get it confused. Just stick around for a minute. So it works pretty good. It's this big old rubber seal. You can see, I mean, oh dude, there were a lot of bugs out. If you haven't already followed me on Instagram, my Kayak Fishing, I was out at, it's almost midnight last night. Got some good stuff. Geez, let me get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. See, this is, if I had, this would literally be easier one-handed if I had a big triangle hatch. This is my little power box. Currently 16.2 volts. It's like a 20,000, about 20,000 milliamp. These are just some red lights for at night. If I need some extra light, obviously USB and all that good stuff. All right. And then in here, I got a couple things. Again, if you haven't already subscribed, I will show you how to, adding no additional holes, attach a string here so that there's just some paracord. And that way this stuff doesn't disappear into the abyss, right? Like down into the crevice of the kayak. Again, this is a trolling motor video. Just stick with me. This is my kind of my janky setup. Got a little 40 amp action right there. It's currently plugged in, so you'll see that if we zoom in here and I trip the fuse, oh, no juice. Juice? No juice. Juice. No juice. Zoom back out here. So this is an Elf Hub 100 amp hour battery. And if you haven't dealt with a 100 amp hour battery, like they're not tiny, but they're not ridiculously huge. I've got some foam stuck in the sides there to basically keep this dead nuts in the middle. See if I can get it up here. Yep. Elf Hub 100 amp hour battery. Anyway, I will put a link to that in the description. Seriously, for $300, like if you can go to Walmart and buy a $50 junky battery, then however long it took you to save the $50, just wait 6 times longer. So, Elf Hub 100 amp hour. I'll shoot a link. I literally had to take a heat gun. And you can kind of still see, like, right here, a little bit. But I literally had to take a heat gun so that I could, like, wedge it in and... Anywho, but it's in there now. And it's not like I don't have a lot of room. But again, if somebody knows where I can get one of those nice big triangle hatches, like, that are on, like, the PA, and anywho, I'd love one. Otherwise, I'm going to have to figure out how to make one. All right, next we have this little thing right here. I bougied it up a little bit. Sorry, I'm like moving stuff out of the way. I bougied it up a little bit, right? Got some lights on it. It is helpful at night. They're LED, so they pull nothing. Like, you know, I'm not shortening my battery life. It's still at 13.3 volts. It may look a little weird on the camera. you know, for whatever reason. But that's 13.3 volts. And I went out for 6.5 hours yesterday, and I was out from 7 o'clock this morning until about 1 o'clock. And it's still at 13.3. So I've been rocking it pretty good. This is a PWM. It's very simple. I'm kind of ghetto, if you know what that is. I've got one lead, plenty of E6000, right? Get her done. This goes up to the front, my 40 amp fuse up there. And then the other one, it circles back and sticks it right there. It's super simple. It's 2 wires. Now, you see some other wires there. That's fine. The other wires for the, essentially your speed control, and then, forward, neutral, reverse. It's super simple. It's all waterproof, right? Thanks to the magic of E6000, silicone, whatever, marine silicone, blah, blah, blah. The other wires you see are just the LED stuff. It's neat. I don't have a fan on it. I don't really run it at full throttle. Like, there's no need to, but I will rock it at like 80%. For it was it's almost an hour one time running at like 80% just straight. I was making a run across to an area. So anywho, so that's neat. A little Plano waterproof case. Now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes. The motor. Yep, it's there. Giving you the walkthrough. This is something that I do during transport. It holds it down, and obviously the crate is secured. Okay, now you do see it's backwards. The neat thing is that the way that I have it mounted, right, it's very simple. I drilled a hole through the conduit box and the other guy up here, and I have this on this side, so that as this flips up, you'll see that, hopefully you'll see, anywho, when I scoot it out, right, its natural inclination, as you'll see, is to go down, and it pulls on that as it goes down. Now, why doesn't it go down any farther, you might ask? Well, because this is my mechanism to raise and lower the motor when I go to shore. Now, if I'm in the water, right? If I'm in the water and I need to very quickly pull this out, it's pretty simple. Here's my steering cables, and up there, right, are my, let me see if I can get this to not focus on my finger. I'm using the pedals for steering, right? And there's no real limiter. So if I literally just push both feet in, right, it pulls both the cables and this comes up. So that's pretty cool. But this is a secondary. I don't think being redundant on that is a bad idea. So basically what I did on this is the one that's attached to the head goes here, right? And then what I've got going on here is, this is just a way to increase leverage, right? If I just had a cable that like pulled away, it'd be pretty tough to pull this far, but I have it tied to a little pulley, and that pulley is fixed on one side and then can rotate on the other. So that gives me more leverage. Anywho, this is a pretty simple, well, it dropped down and you see it started to rotate, and then I would just literally, I just do that with the foot pedals. It's not been an issue. This is one of those Night Eyes little clips. Again, got it off of eBay, but as you can see, there's that. And if I just pull this back without pulling my kayak back, pull up on that, and voila, it starts to pull up. So it's really easy from the seat, believe it or not, but it is. I'm not the guy that's going to complain about a $600 kayak not being a $600 kayak, but I've got to imagine that the molding process would be a little bit easier if there were some more flat edges. And Lifetime, if you're listening, by the way, Lifetime Kayaks follows me on Instagram, so should you. My Chaotic Fishing. I thought it was pretty neat. Anywho, these are all rounded edges. These are all right. This is not level with that. Like, they're cocked up at an angle. That is rounded the whole time. There's all these molding things going on here to make it look fancy. This goes out to a point. Like, why can't it just maintain its width? If you know Facebook experts, please chime in, right? There's a reason, I'm sure, but it's... I wish it was, like, squared up. I'm not gonna lie, I wish it was like some of the Ascend kayaks that are wider up front. It's a 12-foot kayak almost, so I'm not worried about it not being as nimble as an 8-foot kayak. It's not an 8-foot kayak. Come on. So this next part, by the way, like, this has been on here for a while. I have some old footage of the install and was super nervous, right? Haven't posted that video yet because I didn't know if this thing was going to last or not, but I made it for me, and that's what all this is for. So if it gives you some confidence, this setup has been this way for months. I want to say 4 or 5 months now, to the point where I'm having to rush back in because just, all of a sudden, the wind picks up, whatever the case. I know, look at weather, all that good stuff. Anywho, I had to take the scupper plugs out. Like, so much water splashing over, and I'm fine. Strong swimmer, got my life vest. This stuff is all replaceable, beside the point. This unmodified, like, I installed it this way, and I haven't messed with it. And it's still strong as ever, and I use the handles on it, and I lift up the back of it, and I put it through its paces, and I really wanted to feel confident in it before I took the time to show you this. Because if anybody not copies, but if you get inspiration from this design and you take some of the principles, like, and I'd never tried it, that would be terrible. Yeah. So 3/4 inch thick. And don't knock my router job and all that stuff. 3/4 inch thick cutting board. This is one of the cheapies from Wally World. This is my nightlight pole holder. I've got a big old extended pole, which I'll show you in another video. But this thing is bright. Bright as any of the other super bright ones that I've seen out on the water. So, I've just got it. It hangs on. It's fine. So these were a game changer because the back of this Lifetime Teton Pro, it's not flat. It like has this cut out, and this isn't flat. I mean, you can see gaps. You can see gaps in there. Like, man, that sucks. I was super nervous. So that's why these are that way, because this runs in the middle of that decking. Same thing here. This runs in the middle of the decking. Now, 4 jack nuts on this side, 4 on that side. You got to drill out, you got to hog a hole out so you can stick the jack nut all the way through, tighten it from the top. And what happens is the piece opens up and sandwiches this all in there. So it'd be a good idea that when you do that, you can't just hit it with an eraser and undo and move it over. It makes sense that you put it exactly where you need to put it the first time. A very healthy amount. I literally had to go up underneath there. I don't know if you can still see it. Camera doesn't really show it. I mean, you can see the big, I put a lot of E6000. The holes were pretty tight, but I was just sketched out about putting 8 holes in the side of it. So this worked out well, okay? These handles, they're functional. Like I can't lift this thing up with one arm, but you can see that when I load this into my truck, I lift up the nose onto the tailgate, and I come back here and I lift this up and I shove it in. So I've done that, I mean, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 times, like for sure, easily. And I've not had these come loose, anything like that. I literally just found some shelf brackets that didn't look too like designer. Did what I needed them to do, right? I needed a brace here, I needed mounting points there, and then now I'm not having to screw into the kayak, so those screw into the plate. There's a nut and a locking washer on the back. On these, it was pretty simple, right? There's the 2 holes that are on these brackets. This hole didn't exist, so I did have to drill it, but I mean, it's a $4 bracket from Ace Hardware. So these 2 existed. I had to drill this one out because obviously this isn't going to do much work. Why didn't I cut this off? Because I wasn't sure yet, right? I didn't know if I wanted to put a little guide there. And by the way, these guides are awesome. They're smooth. They don't add, resistance. I've got it here so that I've got clearance. This runs in between these. Like, the setup works. I'm super happy with it. I was out when it was windy today and was, having to leave the trolling motor on and fight the wind. Anywho, I was catching fish, so I'm not upset about it. But this works for months in somewhat rough conditions. So that's why I'm just now showing you, because I have the confidence to say if you did it exactly like this, chances are you'd have my same exact results, which I'm super thrilled about. Okay. But trolling motors are expensive. Not these basic ones. And you know what? I don't need 60, 80 pound, 36 volt, nothing. Okay. It's pushing a 100-pound kayak, and, with me and my gear, another 2. So I don't know. It's probably pushing 350 pounds. This was a real find. $20 I got this thing for on Facebook Marketplace. Came with a mount, came with a tractor head. Obviously I've taken that off. Didn't have a prop, so I replaced the prop. It's like $20 on eBay. It sounded a little bit weird, and so I opened it up. It's real simple. I will put a link to Minn Kota's site so that you can look at diagrams of this. It's super simple. You've got a nut, prop, backing nut, like the whole thing comes apart. You can clean it out, lube it up, slap it back together, and now it doesn't sound like anything. So I'm pretty stoked on it. So that was $20, Facebook Marketplace. I'm in one of the most amazing states in the country. I'm in Texas, and we got to register our things. Look it up, tpwd.gov. I think Washington was like the only state in the country. Something about if it's under 16 foot and under 5 horsepower. Don't quote me. I am not legal advice. Look it up. It's whatever your state governing board's water thing is, and just get it done. For me, here in Texas, it was like $60 to get my stickers, and it'll be like $30 every 2 years. So pretty simple. If I want to take this off, it's not very difficult at all. I simply come up to my feet pedals, which, by the way, I've got another video that will be coming out soon. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that when it gets posted, you'll know because you turned on notifications. This is my get this garbage out of the way. Actually, it's not garbage. It's my gear, and I like it very much. It works well. These are now steering. So, Kayak Accessories that came with my kayak that I didn't know about. I took the big shafts that, held these in one place, took those off, and now they steer my kayak, and it works super awesome. And unscrew this thing, and my ghetto ass, you know what? I dig it, though. You know what that is. It's literally just a plug. See if I can do this. Bam. And it's done. Now, this was a pretty cheapy plug, and I'm really not trying to plug it in backwards. So, red to black, right, folks? All right. Anywho, it's not corroded, even though it does get wet, and that's because I fill it up with some dielectric grease. Bam. Plugged in. There. That's what I wanted to grab. Like, seriously, if you're doing electronic stuff, like graphs and all that different jazz, get some dielectric grease. You want to know how to waterproof stuff? Dielectric grease. You want to know how you can keep terminals from not corroding and getting all yellow and blue? Dielectric grease. Anywho, very simple. I think that's it. Super rad.